There's a side to Oprah's story that most of the world has yet to truly see. A hidden chapter written in heartbreak, uncertainty, and quiet resilience. It's tempting to picture her only as the charismatic figure adored by millions, the successful talk show host who built an empire from nothing. But underneath that shine lies a depth of painful experiences and personal battles that few dare to explore. You see, any journey into light is inevitably shaped by darkness, and Oprah's life is no exception. In our own lives, we often run from the very darkness that could transform us, afraid of what we might uncover. Yet it's precisely in those deep, shadowy corners that our greatest breakthroughs are born. The pivotal question is, are we willing to face those haunting memories, the regrets, and the hidden hurts that shape our choices each day? If this stirs something in you, don't push it away. Lean into it. Honor that nudge. Because when we shine a gentle light of understanding on our unspoken truths, a magical transformation begins. The story of Oprah's silent struggles reveals how facing painful realities can pave the road to a life beyond our wildest dreams. This isn't about condemning the past or blaming ourselves for what went wrong. It's about unraveling the layers of false beliefs and emotional burdens so we can find the powerful being that's always been waiting beneath the surface. As we move forward, let each word remind you of your own capacity to rise above adversity. Think of this as a soft invitation to lovingly examine the secret parts of your own story and to uncover the resilience that lives within you. Our experiences may not look exactly like Oprah's, but we all carry within us a tapestry of painful moments and deep yearnings. When we choose to no longer ignore them, they become the soil in which new life can flourish. Stay with me as we delve deeper, section by section, into the hidden truth that shaped Oprah's destiny. Allow this exploration to be a mirror, reflecting what you too might reclaim if only you give yourself permission to see yourself, truly see yourself. Sometimes the darkest truths, once revealed, guide us into the brightest tomorrows. And by the end of this journey, you might find that your own hidden shadows hold the key to a life more radiant than you can imagine. Let us begin by unwrapping the early struggles that shaped one of the most influential figures of our time, while keeping an open heart to the possibility that our own untold stories can spark an equally profound transformation. Oprah's path wasn't paved with instant recognition or material success. Growing up in rural poverty introduced her to some of life's harshest lessons far before she could even process them. She once lived with her grandmother, wearing clothes made from potato sacks, enduring cold stares from peers who teased her for looking different. Many see her now, radiant and composed, but few realize the emotional turmoil that defined her childhood. Those formative years weren't just about economic hardship. There were deeper, more painful undercurrents, experiences of abuse that left her feeling alone, frightened, and misunderstood. This is the dark truth that is rarely talked about in the mainstream. How that little girl, who would someday become a media phenomenon, was once burdened by a reality she couldn't escape. She was learning in the hardest way that the world can be cruel and that love sometimes feels out of reach. For many of us, a troubled childhood can plant seeds of unworthiness. We might tell ourselves, "I'm not enough," or "I'll never be loved for who I am." These words carve themselves into the deepest layers of our consciousness, subtly dictating our choices. Oprah's experiences as a young girl fed a swirling storm of doubt and self-criticism within her. But within that suffering also lay a fierce determination to find something better. Sometimes our darkest chapters can awaken an inner spark that refuses to be snuffed out. Consider your own life for a moment. What difficulties have you carried for far too long, perhaps from a time when you didn't have the voice or the power to change them? Is it a childhood memory, a past heartbreak, or a failure that still haunts you? When we honor these emotional scars, we're not asking for pity. We're recognizing the blueprint they leave on our hearts and minds. Take a deep breath right now. Feel your lungs expand and contract. Allow yourself the grace to acknowledge any heavy memories. Tell yourself softly, I see you, I accept you. And notice how those words feel. This is the first step in transforming pain into wisdom, simply allowing what is, without judgment or shame. Oprah's early battles remind us that every wound has a hidden message, whispering that healing is possible if we're courageous enough to listen. As we move into the next section, we'll go deeper into the idea of hidden traumas, the quiet shadows that shape our emotional and physical lives. Remember, we don't do this to dwell on pain, but to illuminate the path forward. Oprah's journey serves as a compelling testament. When we dare to unearth our darkest truths, we free ourselves to step into a new realm of possibilities. So let yourself linger on the idea that your early stories, no matter how fraught with challenge, can be the very foundation for your most profound growth. It's time to gently turn the key and open the door to the shadows that lie within, ready to be understood, ready to be healed. Have you ever noticed how certain old memories tend to resurface in our lives, often at the most unexpected times? Maybe it's a song that triggers a wave of sadness, or a simple comment from someone that stings more deeply than it should. These experiences can be like invisible threads, pulling us back into an emotional state that feels out of proportion to what's happening in the present moment. This is what happens when our inner shadows remain unexplored. They continue to influence us quietly, shaping the way we see ourselves and the world around us. In Oprah's case, the early abuse and abandonment issues could have driven her into perpetual darkness. Yet something within her called out for transformation. Instead of burying the pain indefinitely, she chose to confront it. She spoke openly about her experiences, turning her personal struggles into a conversation that would uplift not only her, but countless others who'd endured similar challenges. It's a testament to the power we each hold when we decide to no longer be prisoners of our past. Facing inner shadows isn't easy. It asks for courage, the courage to feel uncomfortable, to be vulnerable, and to accept that healing isn't always a neat, linear process. There might be days when everything feels heavier and tears come unannounced. On other days, you may experience an unexpected lightness, a sense that the weight you've carried is beginning to lift. Give yourself permission to flow with these changes rather than forcing them into some tidy pattern. Here's a gentle practice you might explore. Find a quiet place, perhaps in your room or surrounded by nature, and allow your mind to settle. When you feel ready, bring up a memory that's been haunting you. Visualize it clearly, noticing the emotions that surface: fear, sadness, anger, or regret. Now, instead of pushing these feelings away, extend a sense of compassion toward yourself. Imagine holding the younger version of you in a warm embrace, reassuring them that they are seen, safe, and loved. Notice if a sense of peace or release begins to emerge. In moments like these, you're rewriting the narrative of your past, transforming a chapter of darkness into a guiding light for your future. This is the type of inner work that allowed Oprah to move beyond the identity of a victim, stepping into her life's mission with incredible focus and empathy. Each time you confront an inner shadow, you loosen its grip on your present life, opening a space for fresh self-perception, improved relationships, and even better physical health. Because yes, our unprocessed emotions don't just stay in our minds. They weave themselves into our muscles, our nervous system, and even our daily habits. To face these buried truths is to reclaim your power, guiding every cell in your body toward a more vibrant and free existence. Let this realization carry you into the next section, where we'll explore how self-love stands as a beacon in the midst of turmoil, lighting the way for a life defined not by your wounds, but by your capacity to heal. Once you begin shining light on the hidden corners of your psyche, you arrive at a crossroads, to carry the burdens forward or to choose a path of self-love. This choice might seem small or even obvious at first glance, but it can change the entire direction of your life. Oprah's rise from troubled beginnings to global admiration was fueled by exactly that, a decision to embrace her worthiness despite every external and internal voice that once told her otherwise. Self-love is more than just saying, "I like who I am." It's an active, ongoing process of tending to your emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. Every time you speak kindly to yourself, every time you stop destructive self-criticism mid-sentence and replace it with a gentler thought, you're rewriting your personal narrative. This process can be revolutionary because it changes the internal soundtrack that has kept you feeling small or unworthy. A practical way to do this is mirror work. Each morning, stand in front of a mirror and look into your eyes. At first, it might feel strange or even uncomfortable. Our reflections often trigger a cascade of self-judgment. Notice those thoughts, then deliberately shift your internal dialogue. Tell yourself, "I cherish you, I value your journey," or "You are worthy of every beautiful blessing." It might sound awkward initially, but over time, this practice pierces the tough shell of negativity to reach the vulnerable parts that most need compassion. For Oprah, adopting self-love didn't mean ignoring her past. It meant integrating her experiences into a richer, more authentic sense of self. She has spoken about how recognizing her own intrinsic value allowed her to hold space for others. It's like pouring water from a well. If your internal well is dry, how can you nourish anyone else? When you finally commit to loving yourself, your relationships, professional life, and even finances begin to shift to reflect your newfound sense of worth. But remember, self-love is not about being self-centered. It's about understanding that every soul, including yours, deserves kindness and respect. When you treat yourself with unconditional love, you give others permission to do the same. This ripple effect is profound. Your confidence grows, your ability to forgive expands, and your sense of being guided by something greater than yourself intensifies. Reflect on this for a moment. What would your life look like if you were no longer at war with your own reflection, your own mind, and your own memories. Close your eyes and imagine moving through a typical day, waking up, brushing your teeth, interacting with friends, coworkers, or family, while feeling deeply at peace with who you are. Let that vision sink in. That's the invitation that self-love extends to you, a softer, kinder, and more liberated way of being. Keep this question close as we journey on to the next section. If self-love is the spark that ignites transformation, how do we release the emotional blockages that dim our inner light? Let's delve into the connection between our emotional state and our physical well-being, another crucial lesson gleaned from Oprah's remarkable story. The body never lies. It carries our unspoken truths in muscles, organs, and even our posture. When Oprah openly discussed her battles with weight fluctuations, many viewed it merely as a dieting issue or a question of willpower. Beneath the surface, however, lay a much deeper truth. The body was reflecting what the heart and mind were grappling with. Emotional baggage, when unacknowledged, doesn't just vanish. It seeks expression through our physical form. Think about the times you felt tension in your shoulders after a stressful day, or a knot in your stomach during an argument. These sensations are the body's language, its way of telling us something is not at peace within. Oprah's honesty about her struggles shone a spotlight on a universal fact. Beyond the surface of any physical challenge, there's an undercurrent of emotional or spiritual conflict. Whether it's unresolved trauma, anxiety about the future, or negative beliefs about our worth, these energies can manifest as exhaustion, chronic pain, or battles with weight. So how do we break free? Start with awareness. Each time you notice discomfort, a headache, a tightness in the chest, or a nagging pain, pause and check in with your emotions. Ask yourself, what have I been feeling lately? Is there something I'm avoiding or suppressing? Even a moment of mindful inquiry can crack the door open, letting fresh air into a stale emotional space. You might discover that the headache appears when you're worried about finances, or the tension in your neck flares during conflicts with a loved one. A helpful next step is journaling. Dedicate a few minutes each day to write down your thoughts without censoring or editing. This is a sacred space for you to pour out worries, frustrations, and hopes. Don't worry about spelling or punctuation. The point is to give your inner self a voice. Over time, patterns emerge, and you'll notice how certain emotions consistently link to specific bodily reactions. Breathwork is another powerful tool. Even taking 3 slow, deep breaths can shift your nervous system from a state of tension to one of relaxation. Visualize each inhale as golden light filling your body, and each exhale as a release of any dark or heavy energy. If you incorporate affirmations such as, "I breathe in peace, I release all tension," you anchor your mind in a calm, healing state. We can glean from Oprah's experience that superficial fixes, like crash diets or ignoring signals, rarely lead to lasting change. True healing emerges when we address the root emotional triggers. Each time you acknowledge and resolve an emotional issue, you free your body from carrying it. Imagine the vitality and joy that becomes available when you no longer drag around old burdens. This concept sets the stage for our next topic, forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't just a moral principle. It's a tangible, liberating act for our body, mind, and soul. As Oprah's story reveals, Letting go of resentment can dramatically transform our inner landscape, creating fertile ground for better health and deeper well-being. Forgiveness can sometimes feel elusive, especially when the hurt runs deep. We might think forgiveness absolves someone else of responsibility or lets them off the hook for their behavior. But in truth, forgiveness frees us. It's the key that unlocks our self-imposed prison of resentment, bitterness, or shame. Oprah's own journey highlights how liberating it can be to choose to forgive, no matter how justified one might feel in holding on to anger. Anger and resentment act like poison, slowly corroding our well-being from the inside out. Each time we revisit an old wound, replaying the hurt in our minds, we re-inflict that pain upon ourselves. Oprah discovered, as many do through personal growth, that releasing resentment doesn't excuse harmful actions. Rather, it opens a doorway for compassion to flow into your heart. And when compassion thrives, our own emotional and physical health improves. Consider a moment when you felt betrayed or deeply wronged. You might still carry some of that tension today. What would it feel like to place this burden down, to set yourself free from the grip of anger? Envision that scenario clearly. Perhaps you can see the face of the person who hurt you, or remember the place where it happened. Now gently surround that image with the light of compassion, acknowledging that all human beings carry pain, and sometimes they pass that pain on to others. This doesn't justify bad behavior, but it helps you understand that their actions stem from their own wounds. In such moments, a soft affirmation can be a powerful companion. You might say, "I forgive you, and in doing so, I set myself free." Let these words sink into your heart. If at first the concept of forgiveness feels forced, allow yourself time. Healing is a process, and you don't need to rush it. Each tiny step, each attempt to see beyond the hurt, is a victory in reclaiming your power. This was a vital component in Oprah's transformation, acknowledging the pain, yes, but choosing not to be defined or ruled by it. By releasing resentment toward the individuals who harmed her, she cleared space for healthier relationships and more fulfilling opportunities. Moreover, when you release resentment, you can channel your energy into building the life you truly want, rather than lugging around the weight of the past. In the next section, we'll explore how this emotional freedom dovetails with cultivating abundance and self-worth. When your heart is no longer clouded by unresolved hurt, you begin to realize that you are deserving of all that is good, prosperous, and uplifting. Stay with this tender notion. Forgiveness is not a concession, but a profound declaration of self-love. You owe it to yourself to release what was and embrace what can be. Once the chains of resentment are loosened, a fresh perspective on life often emerges. Oprah's evolution from an impoverished background to becoming one of the most influential figures in the world wasn't just about luck or a stroke of fate. A significant part of her journey involved shifting from a mindset of lack to one of abundance. A deep conviction that the universe offers limitless opportunities when we believe in our own worth. Abundance isn't solely about money or material possessions. It encompasses love, joy, creativity, and the freedom to follow your highest calling. If you constantly feel there's never enough time, money, or love, your actions and experiences will reflect that scarcity. On the other hand, If you shift your internal dialogue to, I am open to receiving all the goodness life has to offer, your decisions and outcomes tend to mirror that belief. One tool to foster an abundance mindset is a gratitude practice. Every morning or evening, take a few moments to list at least 3 things you appreciate about your life. These can be simple: a warm cup of tea, a supportive friend, or the comfort of your bed. Over time, this practice retrains your mind to focus on what's already working. As you collect more evidence of goodness, your sense of what's possible expands. Oprah frequently speaks about the transformative power of gratitude, a foundation on which she built her empire. Affirmations can also serve as daily fuel for abundance. Gentle phrases like, "My life overflows with blessings," or "I accept the endless possibilities the universe offers me," may at first feel too optimistic or unrealistic. But as you repeat them, you begin to dismantle the walls of doubt and fear that keep life's opportunities at bay. Think of these affirmations as seeds planted in the fertile ground of your mind. With consistent nurturing, they grow into tangible results: a healthier bank account, more nurturing relationships, or creative breakthroughs you never expected. Visualizing is another powerful practice. Spend a few minutes each day imagining the life you desire. Close your eyes and picture the details, the colors, the textures, the conversations that fill your environment. Let yourself feel the joy, peace, or excitement of that vision. This isn't daydreaming. It's training your subconscious to recognize and draw in experiences that align with your goals. Through her openness about personal struggles and triumphs, Oprah has proven that a shift in mindset can change everything. We don't need to replicate her journey exactly, but we can adopt the principles that fueled her success. And remember, abundance is a cyclical flow. As you receive more, you're able to give more. That generosity, in turn, enriches both your life and the lives of those around you. Now that we've explored forgiveness and abundance, it's time to highlight the importance of personal responsibility. How do we ensure these newfound insights don't slip through our fingers? In the next section, we'll discuss how embracing accountability can keep us on track, turning fleeting moments of insight into a lasting way of life. Even with all the mindset work, affirmations, and newfound clarity, life can still present obstacles. Challenges don't simply vanish. We learn how to meet them differently. Oprah's teachings often revolve around this central truth. No matter your circumstances, you hold the power to shape your experience through the choices you make. Personal responsibility is about understanding the role you play in your own life. It's not about blaming yourself for every misfortune. It's about recognizing that your reactions, thoughts, and decisions chart the course you follow. When you own your power, you stop waiting for external changes and begin creating internal shifts that lead to external results. Think about a recent situation that didn't go as planned. Perhaps you were passed over for a promotion or faced disappointment in a relationship. Before you quickly attribute it to bad luck or someone else's fault, pause and ask yourself, what is my part in this? Where could I have made a different choice? How might my beliefs or habits have contributed to this outcome? These questions aren't meant to shame or criticize. Instead, they shine a gentle light on areas where you can grow and refine your approach. When we fail to take responsibility, we remain stuck in victim mode. We give away our power, waiting for life or other people to fix our problems. Oprah's story shows us another way. She recognized that her past hardships and personal challenges could either define her limits or become stepping stones to greater self-awareness. Each time she identified a pattern that wasn't serving her, she did the necessary work to change it. Whether that meant seeking therapy, altering her daily routines, or adopting a new mental framework. Accountability can be reinforced with a few simple practices. For instance, if you're striving to adopt healthier habits, keep a journal of your meals and workouts. If you're working on emotional patterns, jot down daily reflections on your reactions to stress or conflict. These records serve as mirrors, showing you exactly where you stand and guiding you to make better choices. Additionally, surrounding yourself with supportive people, friends, mentors, or online communities provides the positive reinforcement needed to stay aligned with your goals. One of the most liberating realizations is that while you cannot always control what happens to you, you can control how you respond. It's in your response that your true power lies. As you steadily choose more empowering reactions, you signal to the universe and to yourself that you're ready to step into the life you envision. Let the resonance of personal responsibility guide you into our next section, where we'll look at the continuous nature of personal growth and spiritual awareness. Oprah's evolution didn't stop once she attained success. It became a lifelong journey. And so it can be for each of us if we remain open and devoted to ongoing self-discovery. Even after achieving monumental success, Oprah continued to explore deeper layers of her emotional and spiritual landscape. She never seemed to settle on the idea that she had arrived. Instead, she remained curious about uncharted territories within herself, attending workshops, reading voraciously, and engaging in soul-nourishing conversations with spiritual teachers. This dedication to continuous growth is a reminder that personal transformation isn't a destination. It's an ever-evolving process. As you move forward in your own journey, remember that growth often unfolds in cycles. A new challenge arises. You apply the insights and tools you've cultivated, and you emerge wiser and more resilient. Then another challenge appears, and the process begins anew. Each cycle, if approached with an open heart, refines and strengthens the essence of who you are. Spiritual awareness can be a powerful ally in this ongoing journey. Whether you label it intuition, inner guidance, or a higher self, there's a part of you that transcends the clutter of daily worries. Tuning into this guidance can be as simple as setting aside a few minutes each day for meditation or prayer. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, and listen. Thoughts will come and go, but with practice, you begin to sense a calm presence beneath the surface chatter. A loving force that offers clarity, solace, and a gentle push toward growth. Oprah's own practices, such as mindful meditation and reflective journaling, exemplify how maintaining a connection to our inner wisdom can help us navigate life's unpredictability. You might also explore creative pursuits, painting, dancing, singing, or writing, that allow you to tap into a state of flow. In that flow, you often find answers that logic alone can't provide. It's like accessing a vast reservoir of insight that remains hidden when you're consumed by daily tasks and obligations. Another aspect of spiritual awareness is understanding that you are inherently connected to the world around you. When you operate from a place of separateness, it's easy to feel alone in your struggles. But when you sense the underlying unity in all life, empathy and compassion naturally arise. You begin to see how your personal healing contributes to a collective uplift, inspiring others to confront their shadows and embrace self-love. If you ever doubt the value of your inner work, recall how Oprah's vulnerability and willingness to grow sparked change in countless individuals worldwide. Each time you face a fear, forgive a hurt, or stand firm in your worth, you send out a ripple of transformation that touches everyone around you. That's the power of choosing to evolve. One step, one breath, one mindful moment at a time. As we near the end of this journey, it's time to gather all these threads, acknowledging darkness, embracing self-love, forgiving, cultivating abundance, taking responsibility, and nurturing your spiritual side, and weave them into a cohesive vision for your life. Let's step into the concluding section with a final affirmation of hope and possibility. We've traveled through the hidden valleys of one woman's life, a life that at times was marked by deep hardship, abuse, and self-doubt. Yet these very trials became the stepping stones to colossal influence, compassion, and an unquenchable desire for growth. By illuminating Oprah's journey, we're also shining a light on our own capacity for change. Her story teaches us that no matter how dark the beginning, our willingness to acknowledge pain, embrace self-love, forgive, invite abundance, accept responsibility, and nurture spiritual awareness can rewrite the script of our future. Take a moment to reflect on the key lessons we've explored. You've seen how unearthing painful memories can initiate profound healing, how self-love acts as a cornerstone for a fulfilling life, and how unresolved emotions often manifest in our physical bodies. You've recognized that forgiveness is not a surrender but a liberation, that abundance begins with an inner belief in worthiness, and that personal responsibility hands you the reins of your destiny. Most importantly, you've glimpsed how spiritual awareness can guide and sustain you along the winding path of life. Here's a truth to hold close. You are not defined by your past, nor are you confined by any single moment. Each new day offers a fresh canvas on which you can paint your evolving self. Yes, it may take time to integrate these insights, but progress is measured in the gentle shifts of perspective, the calmer reactions to stress, and the loving words you speak to yourself. And now, let's seal this transformative journey with a final affirmation. Close your eyes or place a hand on your heart if it feels comfortable. Inhale slowly, and as you exhale, softly say, I honor every experience that has shaped me. I trust in my power to heal, to grow, and to create a life overflowing with love and possibility. Feel the resonance of these words in your body. Imagine them weaving into every cell, signaling that you are free to move forward without the burdens of shame, fear, or regret. Allow yourself a smile, even if it's small. This simple act symbolizes your openness to receiving the grace that life has to offer. As you continue your day, whether you're heading to work, spending time with loved ones, or quietly reflecting on what's next, carry this affirmation with you. Remember that each step you take in self-awareness ripples out into the world, gently encouraging others to do the same. In this way, your personal transformation becomes part of a collective awakening. Let Oprah's hidden truth be a reminder that behind every great success, there may be layers of pain transformed by courage and determination. and let your own life be an unfolding testament to the fact that hidden within every wound is the potential for immeasurable growth and joy. You deserve a life that mirrors the highest vision in your heart, and you have all the tools within you to manifest it. Embrace them, use them, become them. Your journey has only just begun.